The situation remains tense in Lufhereng in Soweto as some residents demand to be given jobs for community development projects. Police earlier fired tear gas to disperse the group that was protesting outside a construction site. They've now moved to the main road where we find eNCA's Mangoba Mchunu, who joins me now for an update. And Mangoba, what's the situation looking like now? Is it calming down a bit?
Certainly, Tulas, it is coming down significantly. In fact, I can tell you that many of the community members that were here earlier on have now dispersed. There's only just a group of a few community members that remain here on this particular street. But of course, as you recall, Tulas, earlier on, when speaking to one of the leaders, they're insisting that they will continue to blockade this particular street until their demands are met. So what they are looking for essentially now is for this construction that is taking place. I just want to move this side, Tulas, and ask my colleague Linge just to show you it's the construction that we're talking about here. As we move here, of course, Tulas, you can still see that this road, Impala Road, has still been affected, Tulas, and essentially there is no movement of vehicles at this particular point. You can see there in the far background also they've now brought in rocks as well as some of the debris here from the road to try and block this particular street. So there is currently nothing moving at this particular point. And earlier on, we did see the police, Tulas, coming here to try and disperse this crowd, and they fired rubber bullets at some of the protesting community members. They also fired a tear gas. But this has done little, Tulas, to actually stop some of these community members from coming back here. Tulas, I just also want to show you the construction that we're talking about here. It's that construction that you can see in the background there. So what we understand is that this particular project, which is the Lufhereng Integrated Housing Development Project, started as back as 2009, and it's a project of both the city of Johannesburg as well as the Lufhereng Development Company, which basically aims at providing housing for residents of this particular community. But the residents, what they're complaining about is the fact that many of the local residents have been left out in terms of employment by this company. They're accusing the company Rubex, which is the construction company in this particular project, of hiring people that are stay outside of this particular community. So that's the reason why they've now vented their anger. They've come out here on the streets to say that they want to see more locals being employed in this project. But at this particular point, we have tried to reach out to the company itself just to try and find some answers. Earlier on, I did speak to one of the community members about some of the issues that they're raising, and this is what he had to say to us.
Who are not from our community, and also people who are working on our construction are being exploited. And also the company called the Rubex Construction is the one who's here to develop our community. But Rubex currently fired people who are from the community. You cannot develop a community without community members. So how can you develop people like that? And also we've tried to engage with them where the councillor was here and the developer, which is Mr. Napoleon Museta from LDC, the developer. The councillor is Theo Dlamini. They promised to come back to the workers and they never came back since from the 2nd of May up until now. When we are trying to get hold of them, they are not coming to us. And also the community is complaining about the 30% that was supposed to improve the lifestyle of the community in terms of building grounds and also parks for the kids. Kids are playing on the street instead of playing on the what you call relevant place.
Mangoba, the residents are also saying that actually there was some kind of an agreement between themselves and the company Rubex, but that the company is actually in breach.
Certainly, Tulas, what we do understand from these community members is that they've been raising some of these issues earlier on. We do understand that they had a meeting with Rubex last year, where they raised some of the issues around the employment of local residents in this particular project. And they did come to some sort of an agreement, and the letter that I'm carrying here is that agreement that they came to, which was dated on the 17th of January this year, where essentially the company agreed that they will look into the issue of the employment of local residents, saying that they will try to ensure that they streamline the process to allow more people from this particular area to be employed, but also the issue of the salary. Some of the community members that have been hired in this particular project making complaints or complaining about the fact that they are not being paid what was agreed, which is a minimum wage of 3,500 rand, but they are accusing the company of only paying them up to 1,500 rand. So those are some of the issues that they say have not been met by the company itself. But another issue that they're also saying to us is the issue that there was a promise earlier on by the development company itself that there was going to be a 30% contribution that the company will make towards the development of this particular community. But they say that all of that has not been honored by this particular company. But take a listen to what this community leader again had to say about this.
Here I've got the agreements that were signed by the company, but they've never met that agreement, which means it's a breach of agreement.
What are some of the things that they agreed to initially that you're not happy about?
Things that we agreed about was that whenever we finish phase, people will get bonuses, and also they will get increase. Not the 7% that they were giving people, because it's too little. It was agreed that, okay, people will negotiate according to rents, where everybody will be satisfied or will meet halfway. An agreement that will be suitable for both parties. But none of it has been commenced.
Okay.
All right, thank you for that. We'll keep checking in with you. That's eNCA's Mangoba Mchuno out in the area of Lufhereng, just near Protea North in Soweto, where those protests are taking place. Well, you'll remember